Hey there, API testing enthusiasts. Are you ready to dominate 2024 with the ultimate API testing tools for success? In this video, we are going to dive deep into the world of API testing and show you the essential tools you need to take your software development project to the next level. Now, let's kick things off with a quick introduction to the importance of API testing in software development. API testing is a crucial role in ensuring the overall quality of your product. So, to start, what is API? API is application programming interface, and in simple term is a software intermediary between your application and the server. Let's see an example. Here is a simple example of a weather app. Let's say you are a developer and you are creating a weather app, a third party weather app. So you need to, for example, to show the weather, you have to get the data from the provider. Here is the provider with their database of information about the weather, but you don't know how to talk to them, you don't know a security reason, you need some tokens, you need some other stuff. So the provider build an API so you can connect to that API, and API give you the information. So here is your application, is in phone, in server, on a laptop, whatever. You talk to the API, okay, you say, for example, give me the weather for Liverpool, for example, and the API talks to the database, get the information from you, and send it back to you. You see, and in this API, you have a lot of things, like you can verify that the person can actually connect and get the information. You verify what information they need. Actually, like the weather application or the weather provider, the weather data provider, they actually give you some required information that you should give in the beginning, as they can reply to you as efficient as possible, so you can get the data that you want. Now, after talking about this, let's see what tools you need for testing this API. As we saw in testing this part is essential because it will break everybody's project. And just so you know, like APIs are used everywhere, like weather apps, like Facebook, Instagram, so on and so on. Like most or all third-party application, even some first-party application, they use API. Now, in no particular order, we will start. First of all, we start by SoapUI, one of the leading open source API testing, and it is one of the most used also. So it's designed for simplicity of testing APIs. We can test API functionality, reliability, performance, security, and you can do automated function regression and performance tests with it. It is easy to use, easy to debug, multiple environment support, so you can have it in like Linux, in Windows, and it is well used in different environments. Like it allows scripting, you can use script on it, you can do some security testing and performance testing with it. So here is what it look like. Sorry, that was here is SoapUI. We'll give you the SoapUI up. So here is what it look like. As you can see, it's a little bit intuitive. So here, like for example, this is just a test, like with the get method, with HTTP get method, and we are getting all the pets from the pet store, that are available. Here, if we run it, we can see here it is the part that we send the request. Here is the part we get the reply, and if we do raw data, we can see here that we have a response 200, which is good response, that and we have some information about the request. The pet store swagger.io is just an example that people use. Like it is done, the pet store is done with SmartBet, like for SoapUI. They're just giving like some tutorials and stuff, and they give you this URL so you can test doing different method like get, put, post, and so on. So this is like can be a good thing to use this one for your education, and so you can use multiple things. Here, as you can see, it's a simple UI. You can have in the file like create new sub project, new REST project. You can import some other projects and so on. So I will do a tour of SOAP.ai if you are interested. So let me know in the comment. Now, I've been using SOAP.ai for almost 4 years, and the last 2 years I was doing API testing. I was expert in API testing. I was doing only API testing, and not only, but 90% of the time API testing, and we used SOAP.ai for a lot of that time. The one thing you need to know, like SOAP.ai is divided into, like for people that want to go download SOAP.ai and play with it a little bit, you can find documentation also in SOAP.ai website for using the pet store and so on, like you do URL and stuff, and you can do some API testing. So I was saying, like, we have two things, SOAP.ai and Ready API. Ready API is a little bit newer. It is like the newer version of SOAP.ai, but it is the pro version. Before we had SOAP.ai, like community version, like the one that everybody use for their education and stuff, but we had a pro version. But now that pro version, like it is called Ready API, it's only server based. You cannot have the application on your laptop, unlike the SOAP.ai community version, which you can have on your laptop. So I used both versions, and there are some slight differences that make your life easier if you do a lot of API testing. But for beginners or for educational purposes, you don't need the pro version. And with the API, I think you don't need it for now. Like if you're just learning about API, just want to do testing, SOAP.ai community version it's enough for you. You don't need to pay for the pro version. Now, the other one that is like very, very used and very, very liked by a lot of people is Postman. So it is a comprehensive tool designed by specially for API testing by Postman Inc. And also the one thing that we should tell about this tools, it is proprietary. It is not open source as SOAP.ai. It is a proprietary tool by Postman Inc. It is tailored for manual testing and automation testing. You can do scripting also on it. It is user friendly and also like multiple environments. It is data driven testing and it is platform compatible like with Windows, macOS, and so on. And you can generate some reporting in HTML and JUnit format. Now let's see how it looks like. Now I will connect to my Linux VM now, and this is how it looks. So I use the same thing like the pet store, and you can run it here. As you can see here, you can see all the things that you run today. One thing that I want to say before I continue, this version like I'm using, it's a light version. I installed the API, the client, the Postman client, and I'm using only the light version, lightweight version, as if you want the full experience to unlock all the feature in Postman, you have to actually connect to an account. This is the one thing that's like it got it banned from being used in our company. It's because this is a problematic, as all data need now to go to the Postman server, and that creates security risk. And as you know, the data for companies, they are private. They don't want their data to go to other server and so on. So like it got banned from ever being used in our company because of this problem, because of the security problem. Here it is a lightweight version that I'm using, but it gives you a pretty picture about how which is Postman. So it is also very user friendly. Like you can come here and add whichever, let's say we will using the same URL. Okay, so you can pass your URL and get like send a request. It's very easy to use. It is user friendly, and here use like the reply, and like if you want it in raw format, it's here. Like if you want it preview format or visualize, it's not set, but here is the header. Here this part is for test result, like when you do some actual test, because here you just send the request to the server. We did the same for SOAP UI. We just send the request. We did not actually do some testing. That I will be doing it after. For example, for SOAP UI, I can do it also for Postman for an example or two, just to show you how it's done. It's different how it's done in Postman and SOAP UI, because in SOAP UI we do what we call assertion, and they are, if I get my SOAP UI here and assertion, for that we need to create actually test like test switch and test cases. I'm just like creating an example just to show you. And as you see here, like we can have some assertion, and you can actually choose what property, like for example, you want it to contain, I don't know, 12, and you can do the test like this. Just send the request, and here we see like, okay, here we find that there is that 12 number you ask, but if we do something, I don't know, like this, probably it will not find it, and your test is failing. Okay, it's very visual and stuff, and you have a lot of different properties and stuff you can use for that, and use for security, for database, and so on. Okay, like I will go into detail in other videos, not in this one. But if you go back to Postman, it's a little bit different because you use script. Okay, I will not do an example here. I will do it other videos, like properly. And with a full feature, the Postman, but just so you know, here this is the part you can have a test, and even if you click, like for example, writing test, you can have like they have some guides to help you. Stress basic. Okay, this is not the important part. Yeah, the problem is like I need the full the full featured Postman to show that kind of stuff. I'm not doing it now. Let's do it in another video. Now let's go back to our tools. There is another tools which is fairly new, which is Hopscotch. It's based actually on Postman. It's very lightweight. The convenience is web-based API development switch. It's built for minimalist and unobstructed UI. It is user friendly also. It's open source. It's cross platform. So you can self-host it also. It's community driven and mostly built for developer, but you can use it as a tester also. And it is no, when I said it is based on Postman, like visually speaking, I will show it and you can see for yourself. Visually speaking, it is based on Postman. It's not necessarily like the code is the same or whatever, but if you see here here is the UI. As you can see, it is fairly similar to Postman. As you can see here, test result and so on, like you can run here. So in general, it's a good alternative for people that want to actually do tests, but they don't want to use Postman. The one drawback, actually here you see the raw result, header, test result, and so on. It is similar to Postman. As you can see here, for example, here you can run tests, and it is the same thing as Postman. You can have here, for example, here you have snippet of code that help you actually to check for the test, and you can, when you run, you can see here for test result is successful and stuff. So it is visually based on Postman. It has the same features as Postman, and the same way that is used for testing, actually for testing for testing different reply and so on. So, and as I was saying, like in full feature Postman, you have something like this. We give you some snippet for education purpose and stuff. You give you some snippet for testing some code and some reply code, some status code, some HTTP status code, and do some asset properties and so on. And this one, like, it was called before Postwoman, for people that knows. Now it's called Hopscotch. And the one thing that I actually dislike about this one, which is web based, there is no application. Actually, you cannot download the application on your computer. So if you want, you can run it on a server, you can host it on your own server, but it's really web based. So that's the one downside I don't like about this application, and it's not suitable for like doing some actually complex text with different server and so on. And like this one that's the big issue I find with this one, but it's good API testing tool that is UI based, that you can use for doing your test. Now let's continue. Now we're with Hopscotch. Before, do not forget to subscribe. As you can see, like 96% of you are not subscribed. So if you like the content, give me a like and subscribe. It will encourage me to have more content and to help you more in your QA testing journey. Now, another one is Insomnia. Insomnia also is a robust tool managed by Kong, explicitly designed for API testing. It has many similarities with Postman, but also boasts unique features that make it attractive option. So it's allowed for user-friendly setup, requires a single installer downloader, it's intuitive and so on. I did not install Insomnia, so I will not be showing it, but it has a lot of similarity with Postman and a lot of UI based testing APIs, testing API tools. There are similarity with Postman, and most that we saw in this list, and the most that we will not be seeing. A lot of them that have very easy setup and they are user friendly. And also this one, it is a they have testing support, they support plugin, also they have code snippet generation, and like support view and response in various formats, including JSON, XML, image, and PDF. Like, it is a good one. It is one that people a lot use. If I remember right, they have a plugin that you can have in your Chrome or your Firefox, and you can use it directly from the plugin to do some tests. So it is a good one that people like. So here is in the list. Another one which is also fairly new, and this one, like we were talking about it in my last company, and we will see it is a good fit for people that were actually using Postman but they cannot use it. So it is called Bruno, and it is fast and Git friendly. This is a big helpful thing, which is being a Git friendly open source API client, aimed at realizing the status quo represented by Postman, Insomnia, and similar tools out there. Bruno stores your collection directly in a folder on your file system. So it's the response that, like, Postman want to send all the information to their server, who, like, they use a plain text markup language also, which is called Brew, to save information about API requests. You can use Git or any version controller features to collaborate over your API collection. Bruno is offline only, which is a good thing also. Well, it's open source code and it's user friendly, and we can see like how it looks. If I go here, like this is Bruno. As you can see, like it is like Postman, Hopscotch, and stuff. They have fairly similar UIs. They are user friendly, and the big difference, like they have different way of doing storage and so on, but in general they are fairly similar. As you can see here, you have the testing part here, like for like there is no test here, but like if we were to write here like some test, like we'll be having test here, like here we do some assertion, like you can add some assertion here, like I don't know, you can say some expression, for example, let's say test equal value 1 and so on. And like you will be having here, like when you run the request, you'll be having here the test. Like let's do a real test, like let's do like id, I want id to equal this value. Okay, I'm looking like in my information I sent whatever, and in reply I should be having this id. So I do my test. Okay, I do my test, and oh, I have an expected error, and like this is test fail, and I know because the problem is like here we have multiple IDs and so on, but it gives you an idea how it works. And the thing which is interesting about Bruno is like you have the two ways of doing things. Like you can add a session, like what we do in SubUI, and have some for example have some different things. Like if we do id contains this value, you can have a lot of different things as you can have in SubUI. Like this is visual based, given a combination of arguments, like they can do the things because this is normal. This is normal, just showing example and stuff. But here, like we can do either this way, like in a session, or you do like for people that use Postman and stuff, they can write the code and the JavaScript code and do the tests in this way. So here, like for the header, so here in the header, here's the timeline, like it give you like the response and so on. So it is fairly similar UI to the Postman, Postman, let's say similar tools, but it has some other different things, like being offline only, having the option of assertion, and so on. Here, like this part, like for doing some scripts, like here for pre-request, here for post response, like here if you want to here is the script you do like before sending the request, and here is the script you want to do after the request. For example, I don't know, like in the pre-request you can send some specific information. Here I'm just doing an HTTP GET. I'm not having some like complex text or text or whatever. This is just for showing, but you see here, like, and you just, for example, set some variables or whatever. Like for example, and here, like you can do something else, getting some information and giving them to some other variable, so you can have in the next HTTP call that information available. So we will see in that in more detail while using like real life APIs, but this is like here how it's working. It's user friendly and so on, and that's the difference between the others that have the both ways to do things, like the way here like visually, let's say it, and the way here like for people that like to do some coding or use some script to do the testing. Now let's go back, and that's the one that like most I encountered in my experience as an API tester. There are other tools, of course. There are other tools that are also fairly used, like Cypress, Karate, Rest Assured, Gmeter, or people like they are coding, like people when they do coding also they use APIs and they test them also, like for their unit tests or whatever. Like for example, using Python, you can use some library as like requests and unit tests. If you want to do just a test, like just here I will send a get request to whatever, to Google, to just get this information. Like you can use curl, like it's terminal based, like you connect, you log into your terminals, you do curl with the URL and stuff, and with that, of course, the HTTP request, and you can send a request and you get that information back. So this is the most, we talk about the most used tools. Like and other also use tools and so on. And there are a lot of other tools that are not as much as used, but they are used also in some with some people. Like I know, for example, in our teams, like we prefer to use SAP UI, but for people that were doing DevOps, like they were using curl for just having rapidly sending requests, getting a reply, and that's it. So if you feel we forgot some API testing tools, do not forget to tell us in the comments. We encourage you to try out the tools yourself, share your feedback or question in the comment section, and explore more of our videos for additional learning resource. Keep learning, keep testing, and keep dominating with the ultimate API test tool. Thank you, and see you in the next video.